The 72 countries worldwide that criminalize homosexuality, 32 of them are in Africa, and more than half of these are British colonies. Former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe, who called homosexuality un-African and a white disease, but in fact, it's quite the opposite.
I will not engage in a subject that is it is not of any major importance to the people and the Republic of Kenya.
Respect
lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people.
Respect African societies and their values.
I think gay marriages should be legalized in Africa because marriage is a fundamental right. I also think that being married would enhance the lived experiences of LGBTQ people across Africa. Apart from being the right thing to do, Africa is missing out a lot economically by not legalizing gay rights. For example, look at a place like Zanzibar, which can be a huge place for destination weddings. They're missing out on that because of the anti-LGBT rights in Tanzania. You have a lot of queer Africans who are leaving Africa to plant roots somewhere else. They want to get married somewhere else. They want to settle somewhere else because they can't do it in Africa. And with that, by them leaving, they take away skilled labor and possible investment opportunities.
Especially on our continent, there's this moral stance that marriage is about family, it's about procreation, it's about protecting that unit that is holy. That to me makes no sense, because the truth is that gay, lesbian, transgender people can also procreate, can also find that one person that they want to spend their lives with. And so if it really is about love, about family, about procreation, then marriage should be allowed. But of course, we look at it through very narrow political lenses, and it doesn't fit the narrative, the so-called African narrative that many politicians would like to push.
I think the biggest obstacle is ignorance and lack of knowledge. Africans are not aware, or most of them are not aware, that queerness has always been part of the African fabric. For example, you have the pre-colonial effeminate men in Uganda who were allowed, of the Langi tribe, who were allowed to socialize as women and marry other men. However, Uganda at the moment has one of the harshest anti-LGBTQ laws in the continent. I also think African politicians use the LGBTQ community during economic crisis to score political points. A lot of religious leaders, pastors, priests using moral panic to spew hate against the LGBTQ community.
There's been the assumption that should gay marriage be allowed, there's going to be this rush of gay and lesbian people towards the courts, and we are going to see thousands of people getting married. And South Africa is a prime example of how that is simply untrue. That many people are still so dealing with the challenges that they experience in their day-to-day life, that marrying someone is not necessarily a priority.
We need to learn about our history, the history before colonialism, or before the colonial people came and brainwashed everybody. We need to know that homophobia is un-African. Homophobia is un-African and not homosexuality. Okay, so education. One of the things that I think would definitely accelerate LGBTQ rights across Africa is religion. if we stop being so hateful. I mean, one of the fundamental things about religion is love, but unfortunately Christians are the worst people when it comes to violence and hate against the LGBTQ community.
I think what also needs to happen, which technically has already in law happened, is that we have this clear separation of the church and the state. And the reason for that is that, yes, the church has elevated itself to being our moral guardians, but the state is our protector. And the state is there to ensure that everyone enjoys equal rights. And so marriage for me should fall in the domain of the state and not in the domain of the church.